News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, 727-9900 today. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
More restrictions are put in place to fight the spread of the virus, and police are looking for a truck involved in a rollover crash. News 25 starts now.
This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Governor Sisolak tightens the reins on Nevadans to fight COVID-19. It's Thursday, April 9th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell. Well, Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak has issued a new set of directives aimed at continuing to reduce the number of people being diagnosed with coronavirus. He outlined the stricter guidelines during a news conference Wednesday afternoon. Nevada Governor Steve Sisolak has issued that directive, and we're going to watch that right now.
First, I am ordering sporting and recreational venues that encourage social congregation, including golf courses, public basketball and tennis courts, and publicly accessible swimming pools to close for the duration of the state of emergency. Second, this directive requires showrooms at essential businesses that are used to display goods for sale, including but not limited to cars and household appliances, to close to the public. You can still buy these items if the business delivers to your home, but showrooms encourage customers to wander around and touch products, and that sort of shopping experience can lead to a higher likelihood of spreading the disease. It's just common sense. Third, those businesses that continue operations must provide adequate protections for their workers and adopt sanitation protocols that minimize the risk of spread. This is a common sense measure to ensure businesses that are operating do so safely. Fourth, open house showings of real estate properties for sale and showing of homes occupied by renters are now prohibited. I want to be very clear. You can still buy and sell a home. Real estate agents can still use technology to virtually stage a home. And you can still make an appointment to see a house in person if it's not occupied and strict social distancing guidelines are met. Fifth, licensed barbers and stylists are prohibited from offering in-home beauty services other than to those in their household. In my previous directive, barbershops and hair salons were designated as non-essential, bringing those same services to someone's home and creating a heightened risk of exposure circumvents the very rationale behind our initial stay-at-home directive. Anytime you open your home to someone not in your household, it increases the risk of spreading COVID-19. We also took a hard look at our essential businesses providing services or selling goods to the public, including grocery stores, to ensure they were providing safe as an environment to the public as possible. As part of this directive, I am prohibiting all grocery stores from offering self-service food stations, salad bars, or other unpackaged bulk dry goods to customers. And right after I'm done here, the Nevada Health Response Center will issue new guidance to grocery stores, maintaining proper social distancing standards, cleaning guidelines, and other protective measures for employees and customers. Finally, after a lot of thoughtful discussion and guidance from the medical advisory team, my legal team, and faith leaders from across the state, I have decided to place new limitations on participation in in-person worship services. I know that if we allow these services to continue as usual, we will see a spike in cases in Nevada, just like we've seen in other states. Clusters will appear where people congregate. We are living in unique times, and science tells us that putting large numbers of people together during a pandemic for any reason, religious, cultural, economic, or recreational, is an invitation for disease to do its worst.
Well, there is some good news. The Southern Nevada Health District says that 727 people in Clark County who contracted the coronavirus disease COVID-19 have since recovered. This news was announced at a briefing this morning by Dr. Furman Lugan, who is the chief medical officer. This is the first estimate provided by officials regarding recoveries in our area. There were 2009 reported cases of the disease in Clark County as of April 8th. per the health district's figures. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that anyone who had COVID-19 can stop isolating if they've gone 3 days without a fever, have seen an improvement in respiratory symptoms, and have gone 7 days since symptoms first appeared. Well, 3 people and a canine luckily escaped serious injury this morning following a rollover crash. Nye County Sheriff's deputies were looking for a vehicle that was involved in a crash this morning on Charleston Park and Banovich Street. That vehicle is described as a gray pickup truck with front end damage that fled the scene of the crash heading northbound on Banovich Street. 2 vehicles were involved in the accident. The other one resulted in a rollover. There was 3 occupants inside that vehicle. All of them declined to be transported to local medical facilities. There was also a dog inside the car that appeared uninjured. Traffic was diverted around the crash by Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to the scene and checked out all occupants. More news on the other side of this break.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back. Lawmakers are likely to vote on a new measure that would put more money in the hands of small businesses, and OPEC nations are hashing out details of a cut in crude oil production, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is ready to test a vaccine for COVID-19. Angela Miles has more.
Topping our news, a vote on another stimulus package is likely today on Capitol Hill. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has a measure that could put $250 billion more in loans in hands of small business owners. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, along with fellow Democrat Chuck Schumer, are calling for at least $500 billion in spending for coronavirus relief. The bill is in addition to the CARES Act. The on again, off again OPEC meeting is scheduled for today, but even that is now in doubt. The delay is due to bickering between Saudi Arabia and Russia and the amount of crude oil to produce. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is moving forward with the production of a possible coronavirus vaccine. According to BGR, one of the companies backed by Gates Billion is ready for a phase 1 clinical trial of a vaccine.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
Thanks so much, Angela. Well, the doctor guiding the nation's response to the coronavirus pandemic is optimistic that the country as a whole is launching an effective attack against the virus. Dr. Anthony Fauci spoke with Howard Bachner, editor-in-chief of the Journal of the American Medical Association, about where we're headed and when we might get there.
As a country, what's become clearer and clearer over the last 2 weeks is the pandemic is affecting cities very, very differently. You have New York, you have Detroit, Chicago a bit, Boston really struggled. My own institution had to close for beds for a few hours over the weekend. In the high intensity places, New York, Detroit, Boston, how is it, do you think those cities are doing?
You know, given the circumstances and the challenge that they have been thrust upon them, Howard, I think they're doing really very, very well. I think what people don't appreciate, unless you live through it, is what it means during that critical period when you transition from the linear to the exponential phase of an outbreak. You know, if you have the opportunity to be able to do containment before you have to essentially switch over to mitigation, and you have the capability, the resources, and the luck to be able to put it down before it exponentially expands, then you're going to be in good shape. But if you're in a situation like New York, where given a lot of aspects of the city, the dense population, you know, the subway system and things like that, and then all of a sudden you find out you're just playing catch up, you know, the way they handled it, you know, given the stress on them, I think was quite admirable. I mean, I think Governor Cuomo has done a really, really good job under amazingly difficult circumstances. Hopefully, and this is one of the things that we really feel that would be, we need to stay ahead of, is as other metropolitan areas start to be getting challenged with the possibility of that exponential increase, that they implement the resources that they have to contain it. I think the mitigation that we're going through, the idea that we said the entire country should have a baseline level of following the guidelines of physical separation, even if they have not yet had a major spike, was really an important recommendation. And thank goodness, many locales have done that. And I think that's the reason why they're in good shape. In other words, to almost stay a step or two ahead. Don't wait until you get into the exponential phase to mitigate. Mitigate before you get there. And that's why I think what you're going to see, although I'm always very conservative in my cautious optimism, I think we're going to start to see soon, within the next week or so, kind of a plateauing out and a turning around. We got to be cautiously optimistic, not be overconfident, but I think we're going to start seeing that. The real challenge is if we do then try, which everybody's talking about now, to get back to some degree of normality, not turning a light switch on and off. That's not going to happen. But some degree of normality, we better make sure that we very aggressively and vigorously do not allow the resurgence of a case or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 get out of hand. We've got to jump all over that so we don't have, recurrent peaks, because if we do that, we're just going to be playing a sawtooth game instead of one and down, which is what we want to do.
All right, much more news after this break.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
Well, the town of Pahrump is once again organizing and running this year's Fall Festival. And Tuesday, Nye County Commissioners voted to approve the fees charged to vendors participating in the event. Commissioner Donna Cox voted against the fee schedule, saying vendors are being asked to pay too much. And some others agree.
I am not happy with the fact that we want to charge $300 a month $300 for this event for vendors' booths, considering that we've had a heck of a time even getting people to come to this when it was less. And I don't think $300 for 2 days is justified. That doesn't cost us anything. To put this on basically because we own the land, and I would let if another group comes forward, I'd like to see them have the opportunity to set their own amounts for the booth, and hopefully it would be something much less than this.
Last year, those fees for vendors was $500. This year, at $300, we're back to those fees that we had been able to make money at 3 years ago.
I don't believe they ever charged $500. I think that's what they wanted to charge this year, which is one of the reasons they backed out, because they wanted to up the prices of everything. And like I said, this is a community event. This is not a fundraiser. And especially not a fundraiser for the county or the town, and that's where the money would be going. It's back into our offer, and I don't think it's going to be a good idea.
The town has done this for several years, going off of Commissioner Cox's for pricing. When the town has done it, that took it over in a short time. They charged $250, so $300 for this year is not outrageous. The town's goal this year is to take it back over. We're not looking to make a profit. We're just looking to do a good Fall Festival.
But it's very hard for a vendor because a lot of them have to drive a long ways to get here. And I could support $200 for a booth. That's $100 a day. And believe me, some of these people don't make $50 a day. Their heart has to kind of be in it to even get here. And I also don't like the idea of charging a nonprofit $150. I think that could come down to $75.
My problem with this is charging $300. We're coming off of the COVID-19. People are out of jobs. I don't think we're going to have a real big family unit like we're used to having down there at the Harvest Festival. I just see if you would lower the rates for the vendors, I think you might get more vendors in.
So in the end, as it stands right now, vendors who wish to set up a booth at the Fall Festival will be charged $300. Nonprofits will have to pay $150. Well, 4 more employees with the VA Southern Nevada healthcare system have tested positive for the coronavirus disease COVID-19. That brings the total at the Las Vegas facility to 15 since mid-March. No employees are currently hospitalized, and some are even getting cleared to return to work. They say that 7 of the employees were never involved in direct patient care. Preliminary investigations have determined that many of these cases were community acquired. The VA Southern Nevada healthcare system had the first reported case of COVID-19 in Clark County. Well, whether it's an egg hunt or brunch with family and friends, Easter is traditionally a time for gathering, but this year will be different because of the virus. Dr. Frank Esper of Cleveland Clinic Children's says if you typically attend church on Easter Sunday, switching to a televised option is best for everyone.
Within a church, it's just so enclosed, and honestly, the ceremonies are so personal. I would say that it's very difficult for you to maintain a safe distance from anyone. Therefore, I would recommend doing something online, doing something, and talking to your pastor, talking to your church representative to see what options they have.
Community egg hunts also bring people together in a confined space, so Dr. Esper recommends avoiding these events altogether. Instead, he suggests hunting for eggs with your own children in your own backyard. And don't bother inviting extended family for Easter dinner. Sheltering at home means only coming into contact with people who live in your house.
This very well may be a video phone Easter dinner for a lot of us, and that certainly there's a lot of communication that can still happen. A lot of calling can still happen, and a lot of, at least wishing everyone well. But to have everybody in the same house is not a recommendation, especially when you have big families, bringing in lots of people. Again, we want this to be a celebration, not something that can turn into, illness or worse.
Dr. Esper says this Easter will be strange for everyone, but it's especially important to remain distant from one another to reduce the spread of COVID-19.
And we want to remind everybody that our usual Easter events that we have here in town, of course, have been canceled. Well, in today's Save a Pet, we meet Ash. He's a mixed breed dog that was found as a stray in Ash Meadows, and now he's looking for a great home. Darby O'Donnell has more from Desert Haven Animal Society.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Ash. Ash is a 3-year-old. He's kind of like a mutt. We're not quite sure what he is. He's super friendly. He was actually found in Ash Meadows. He went and he had some really long nails. They got clipped, so he's still trying to go and adjust to having short nails again. He was quite thin. He's already gained some weight back. He's super friendly boy. He is white, and they call him a white and tabby color. So it's kind of like a beige with black spots and then a lot of white around his chest and his neck. He's super friendly. You definitely want to come and spend some time with him out here in the yard. They're on Siri Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse. They are asking for you to please make scheduled appointments for you to come and visit the animals. So give them a call, 775-751-7020, or you can always look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
All right, well, let's take a look outside on that weather cam. I'm kind of excited to see what's going on. A little bit of rain there, it looks like. We're going to find out more of what's in store right after this break.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donohue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 61 degrees, a low of 50 degrees, 67, a low of 54 in Death Valley, 57, a low of 42 in Amargosa, 53, 38 in Beatty, 46 for the high in Goldfield, 44 for the high in Tonopah, 26 is a low in both of those towns. 53, a low of 34 in Carson City. 57, 32 in Fallon. And finally up in Fernley, 58, their low is 35 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw some mostly cloudy skies. Our high today was 57 degrees. Winds coming out of the south-southeast up to 8 miles per hour. 40% humidity, and our sunrise at 6:18 this morning. Now tonight, we're going to continue on with some cloudy skies. Our low is going to be 42 degrees. It is 52 outside currently with winds coming out of the east-northeast up to 6 miles per hour. Humidity at 69% and 7:13 tonight for our sunset. Now looking ahead to that 7-day, on Friday, we're going to be seeing a 20% chance of rain. We're going to be seeing some sunny skies on Saturday and then some more clouds rolling in with a 10% on Sunday. And then come Monday, we have those sunny skies returning with some high winds up to 16 miles per hour. That's going to drop down to 12 miles per hour, but we're going to continue those sunny skies all through next week. Now for our temperatures, on Friday, we're going to be seeing a high of 59 degrees. Then on Saturday, we're going to jump up to those 70s. We're pretty much just going to stay in those low to mid 70s, just between 70 and 76, pretty much all through next Thursday. Now for overnights, from Friday to Tuesday, we're going to be hanging out in that 40-degree bracket, just between 42 and 49 degrees. Then by next Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to slide up into those low 50s with lows of 51 and 53 degrees. And so now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Deanna.
Thanks so much, Michael. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell from all of us here at KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio 103.1 FM. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.